you feel it quietly. A hesitation before speaking. A need for approval before acting. Confidence today is fragile because it is borrowed, not built. You were taught that confidence comes from praise, success, or dominance. That belief keeps you dependent and reactive. Stoicism offers a harder truth. Confidence is not an emotion. It is an identity forged by disciplined thinking. When your self-worth depends on outcomes, people control you. When it depends on character, nothing can. This video is not motivation. It is training. If you are tired of second-guessing, emotional volatility, and silent insecurity, these habits will restructure how you see yourself daily. Ignore them and remain adjustable to every opinion. Apply them and become internally fixed. Stoicism was not created for comfort. It was refined in courts, exile, illness, and command. Marcus Aurelius governed an empire under constant threat while disciplining his own mind. Epictetus began life enslaved, then taught freedom as an internal skill. Seneca advised power while preparing daily for loss. These men did not speculate. They practiced. Stoicism survived because it worked under pressure. Its core claim is simple. You do not control events. You control judgment. From that discipline comes steadiness, courage, and self-trust. This philosophy is relevant because human fear has not changed. Only distractions have multiplied. Stoicism trains you to stand upright regardless of noise, outcome, or approval. And that training builds confidence that does not collapse. It endures as a mental weapon for ordinary modern lives everywhere today. Modern life attacks confidence indirectly. Endless comparison trains you to measure instead of master. Social platforms reward reaction, not restraint. News feeds amplify threat while reducing context. Validation becomes currency, and silence feels like failure. When attention fragments, identity weakens. You begin performing instead of choosing. This environment creates anxious confidence, loud but brittle. Stoicism runs opposite. It removes the audience. It restores proportion. By narrowing concern to what is yours to govern, mental energy returns. Calm becomes strength again. Without this correction, no habit sticks, because the mind remains scattered and externally led. Discipline without philosophical grounding collapses under pressure and distraction, especially during daily stress and uncertainty today. These 7 habits are not tips. They are a framework. Each habit strengthens the next, creating compound stability. Practice daily, they shift confidence from performance to principle. Miss one, and the structure weakens. Apply all, and behavior aligns without force. Stoicism works through repetition, not intensity. You will recognize weakness faster, correct it sooner, and recover without drama. What follows is practical philosophy designed to be lived quietly, consistently, and under pressure. Read slowly, reflect honestly, and execute without announcing progress. This is training, not entertainment, for serious minds only. Habit 1. Govern your judgment. Stoicism begins with the separation of control. Events are neutral. Judgment gives them weight. Epictetus taught that distress comes not from what happens, but from opinions about it. Psychologically, this means confidence grows when interpretation is disciplined. When you react instantly, you surrender authority. Daily practice is simple. Pause before labeling experiences as good or bad. Ask what is actually within reach. Choose response deliberately. Weak men feel attacked by circumstances and demand relief. Strong men assess, adapt, and move. Each time you govern judgment, you reinforce self-trust. Confidence emerges because you know you can face reality without distortion. This habit alone reduces anxiety, anger, and hesitation. Practice daily, it rewires your default from reaction to command, creating quiet certainty under pressure. It trains emotional independence and prevents manipulation by praise, insult, or fear. Over time, identity stabilizes. You stop negotiating with moods and start acting from reasoned choice consistently. This reliability becomes the foundation of unshakable confidence, earned privately through repetition, not bravado, and sustained across ordinary days. Habit 2. Practice voluntary discomfort. Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort to dissolve fear. Seneca regularly chose simplicity to prove he could endure less. Psychologically, this trains confidence through evidence, not affirmation. Comfort avoidance creates fragility. Chosen difficulty creates capability. Daily application is controlled. Cold exposure, disciplined eating, physical training, or silence when ego wants display. These acts teach the nervous system that discomfort is survivable. Weak men avoid strain and panic when life applies it. Strong men meet strain already familiar. Over time, fear loses leverage. You stop imagining collapse because you have rehearsed resilience. Confidence grows because hardship no longer threatens identity. This habit builds quiet pride, not arrogance, rooted in proof of endurance. Practiced consistently, it upgrades self-respect and reduces dependence on external security. It also sharpens gratitude by contrast and strengthens resolve during unavoidable future adversity. Small, intentional hardship daily prevents panic, resentment, and self-pity later. You learn you are harder than circumstances, which restores personal authority. This certainty compounds across months, reshaping identity permanently without theatrics or external applause ever. Habit 3. Rehearse loss to master fear. Negative visualization trains gratitude and steadiness. Marcus Aurelius rehearsed loss to prevent shock. Imagining absence is not pessimism. It is preparation. Psychologically, this reduces anxiety by removing surprise. Daily, briefly consider losing status, comfort, or approval. Notice that you remain capable. This dissolves entitlement. Weak men assume permanence and crumble when it breaks. Strong men expect change and adjust calmly. Confidence grows because nothing feels stolen. You already accepted impermanence. Practically, this habit softens attachment and sharpens appreciation. You act better because you value what exists now without clinging. Over time, fear of loss loses control. Presence replaces panic. You stand composed because you trained your mind to meet endings before they arrive. This creates emotional margin and prevents desperation during negotiation, conflict, or uncertainty. It aligns expectations with reality and strengthens long-term psychological resilience. Gratitude becomes stable, not dependent on constant success or reassurance. You gain freedom from fear by rehearsing loss consciously. Confidence follows acceptance, not denial, of impermanence trained daily with calm attention and deliberate intention. Habit 4. Speak less, observe more. Stoics valued restraint in speech. Epictetus warned that excessive talking leaks authority. Psychologically, silence increases perceived confidence and actual clarity. When you speak less, you observe patterns, motives, and timing. Daily practice is intentional pauses. Answer only what is required. Let silence carry weight. Weak men over-explain to secure approval. Strong men speak precisely and stop. This habit prevents self-sabotage and reduces regret. You begin responding instead of reacting. Confidence grows because your words align with judgment. Practically, restraint sharpens listening and improves leadership. Others sense composure. Over time, silence becomes a strategic advantage. You no longer rush to prove worth. Your presence communicates it. This discipline also protects emotional energy and prevents unnecessary conflict. By choosing fewer words, you choose higher impact and credibility. Over months, this habit reshapes identity from reactive to deliberate. Confidence stabilizes because nothing is said to impress or defend. Speech becomes a tool, not a release valve. Mastery appears calm, economical, and unmistakably grounded, without forced dominance or noise in daily interactions. Habit 5. Define your values clearly. Stoicism anchors life in values, not moods. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself about justice, discipline, and duty. Psychologically, clear values reduce insecurity because decisions simplify. When you know your standards, hesitation fades. Daily practice is written reflection. Define what you will not compromise. Measure actions against that line. Weak men outsource values to trends and approval. Strong men choose principles and accept consequences. Confidence grows from consistency. You trust yourself because behavior aligns with belief. Practically, this habit filters opportunities, relationships, and reactions. Energy stops leaking into confusion. Over time, identity hardens around chosen virtues. You stop asking who you should be. You know. This certainty removes the need for constant validation or comparison. Decisions accelerate, regret diminishes, and respect follows naturally. Others sense firmness and adapt behavior accordingly. Values create boundaries that protect time, energy, and self-respect. Confidence becomes structural, not situational, reinforced daily. This habit governs all others with quiet authority. Without it, discipline lacks direction and meaning. Defined values prevent drift and internal conflict over time. Habit 6. Accept total responsibility. Stoicism demands radical responsibility. Blame weakens character. Epictetus insisted that freedom begins with owning response. Psychologically, responsibility restores agency and confidence. When nothing is someone else's fault, you regain control. Daily practice is language discipline. Remove excuses. Replace them with actions. Weak men explain. Strong men correct. This habit eliminates victim identity. Confidence grows because progress becomes predictable. You know effort changes outcomes. Practically, responsibility sharpens problem solving and resilience. You respond faster and complain less. Over time, people trust you. You trust yourself. Responsibility becomes power, not burden, and confidence follows naturally. It also reduces resentment by aligning expectations with personal capability. Ownership transforms setbacks into training instead of injustice. Each correction reinforces belief in your ability to adapt. Confidence stabilizes because you are never waiting to be saved. Agency replaces complaint, and momentum replaces stagnation. This habit demands honesty, humility, and sustained effort. But it delivers unmatched self-respect and reliability. Confidence earned here cannot be taken externally because it is internally generated through repeated accountable action daily. Habit 7. Prepare for adversity daily. Stoics prepared for adversity before it arrived. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that obstacles were inevitable. Psychologically, preparation reduces fear and increases decisiveness. Daily practice is brief mental rehearsal. Consider challenges ahead and plan responses. This builds readiness. Weak men hope for ease and freeze under stress. Strong men expect friction and move anyway. Confidence grows because uncertainty feels familiar. Practically, preparation sharpens focus and reduces emotional shock. You enter situations already composed. Over time, this habit creates mental armor. Pressure becomes signal, not threat. You remain functional when others fracture, because you train for difficulty quietly. This rehearsal also exposes weaknesses early, allowing correction without consequence. Prepared minds waste less energy on panic and rumination. Confidence increases because action replaces uncertainty and hesitation. You stop seeking guarantees and start relying on capability. Adversity becomes training ground, not personal insult. This mindset stabilizes emotion and preserves judgment. Confidence endures because preparedness is continuous. Built daily, it compounds into calm dominance without aggression, noise, or false bravado under pressure situations daily always. Together, these habits form a single system. Control judgment. Choose discomfort. Rehearse loss. Speak with restraint. Define values. Own outcomes. Prepare for adversity. Practice daily, they shift identity from reactive to sovereign. Confidence becomes structural. You stop negotiating with circumstances and start governing yourself. Emotion stabilizes. Decisions simplify. Others feel the difference without explanation. This is not personality. It is discipline expressed consistently. Over time, the internal narrative changes. You no longer ask if you are enough. You act from certainty. That is mental unbreakability, built quietly through repeated alignment between thought, action, and principle. Each habit reinforces the others, creating resilience under stress and clarity under pressure. This integration produces confidence independent of outcomes. It is earned internally and maintained deliberately. Not given, not taken, not shaken easily ever. Confidence is not claimed. It is built. If one habit exposed weakness, begin there. Comment which habit demands your attention. This channel exists for disciplined minds seeking sovereignty. Subscribe if you value calm authority over noise. Return daily and practice quietly. Stoicism rewards consistency, not excitement. Close this video and apply one habit today without announcement. Let results speak. Remember, no one grants you confidence. You construct it through choices repeated under pressure. Stand upright. Govern yourself. Nothing external is required. Identity follows action. Discipline outlasts emotion. This is the path forward. Stay deliberate. Stay composed. Build the mind that cannot be broken. Return tomorrow, stronger, clearer, and less dependent on approval. This discipline becomes your signature over time. Quiet strength is the final measure of confidence earned daily internally.